Janan Luwum by exhibiting good morals in society. Commenting on character, Lokodo gave an example of two border men who rescued someone on the 8th of this month, took him to hospital but did not take any of the documents on him. Lokodo was addressing the media ahead of the 43rd Janan Luwum Day, slated for the 16th of February at Muchwini in Kitgum district.
Put together 130 Luwum did for the faith and for the stand, conviction in the values that he cherished. He gave not just his will, but he gave his whole life of this country, especially in a very normally, disliked and hated industry. For me, it's a change of phenomenon. It becomes exceptional. These guys have exhibited values that we Ugandans should cherish. One, respecting humanity. That whoever you meet, in whatever condition, irrespective of one's belonging to a religion, to a tribe, to an ideology, to I don't know, a philosophy or what, becomes always your friend. You remember the Good Samaritan story of the Bible, where a priest, a catechist, a fellow Jew never cared for, but it was a Samaritan who was the enemy of that victim who helped him. They couldn't save his life, but they saved at least his property.
Reverend Father Simon Lokodo, Minister for Ethics and Integrity. Democratic members of Parliament expressed dissatisfaction over what they described as an explained failure by the party leadership to avail party cards and village registers. Led by Kalungu County Member of Parliament, the DP caucus members denounced the ongoing party renewal process by its leadership. They echoed this during a press briefing at Parliament yesterday.
On Monday, 27th January 2020, Democratic Party's National Vice President, Freddie Mukasambidde, announced the party's roadmap. The program, among other things, detailed the election of party village councils on January 30th, 2020, with unexpected culmination into election of National Council members. However, to a section of some party members, some of whom are members of Parliament, the roadmap is not clear. They have joined their colleagues in Machinde Sabagabo in Wakiso district to reject the composition of the party register.
All the registers be withdrawn and new registers with serial numbers.
We need a register that has been financed through the normal channels.
In the issuance of party cards and distribution of village registers.
The MPs have also accused the party leadership of what they describe as failure to follow party procedures, to which DP President Norbert Mao has rebutted.
People want to become members, no cards. People want to become members, no registration books. You can't register them, you cannot give them cards.
And then you're even saying you will have a presidential candidate who is supposed to come through that electoral process.
All our accounts are audited, and therefore whatever claims are being made about lack of transparency in management of funds is utter nonsense. That kind of approach by the members of Parliament is childish. All those members of Parliament making noise received posters printed by that same printer.
Bukoto East legislator Florence Namayanja and her Sabagabo municipality counterpart Sempala Chigozi claim existence of counterfeit registers being distributed in their constituencies. They accuse Mbidde of masterminding such irregularities. How true or false the claims are from both ends, Norbert Mao has advice for any aggrieved member.
I don't agree that DP matters should be addressed in press conferences. We have constitutional organs that can deal with those issues.
As Uganda heads towards general elections in 2021, many political actors are positioning themselves to assume victory. With such cracks widening in DP, one of Uganda's oldest political parties, how such victory will be delivered, only time will answer. Gloria Gwitabinji compiled this report.
The Hungarian government has officially partnered with Uganda to tackle the refugee crisis in the country. While addressing the press at the Prime Minister's office, Minister of State, Prime Minister's office, Hungary, Obran Balzis, said that the government, through the humanitarian aid program, seeks to support refugees in African countries. He's our reporter with the details.
The government of Hungary has agreed to partner with Ugandans to facilitate and improve the livelihoods of refugees. According to Obran Balzis, Hungarian government donated 16 million euros to Uganda and applauded the country for its open refugee host system.
So we made the decision to start a humanitarian aid program. We invested 16 million euros, around 20 million US dollar in Uganda refugee and migration system, and I came here to see the progress.
The minister commended Ugandans for their effective open door policy that provides opportunities including employment, education and freedom of movement.
I experienced there that the Uganda refugee hosting model works. The open door policy, what you established, is working. So I bring back Europe this information. I will share it with everybody, and I try to convince all our international and European partners to support Uganda government as we are doing here.
Minister of State for Relief and Disaster Preparedness, Echweru Musa, emphasized that Uganda continues to advocate for an open door policy. He, however, noted with concern the abnormal rise in the number of refugees flowing into the country.
While we continue to have the open door policy, it is putting pressure on almost all the services in the country. For example, the health facilities. If you take, for example, a health center in Bidibidi, which was meant ordinarily for 250,000 people, now Bidibidi has about 700,000 people because of the new arrivals, because of the visitors from South Sudan.
He called upon the rest of the African countries to join forces and tackle the issue of raising refugees in African countries.
That Africa, the rest of the African countries, in my strong opinion, should follow the example of Uganda and provide a home for the displaced. Because refugees mainly generated from Africa will find it very easy to adapt to the environment and the climate and the culture of Africa.
Reporting for UBC, Shiva Nauma.
Ministry of Health officials are to implement enhanced health screenings to detect the coronavirus, possible coronavirus contracted travelers entering Uganda on direct and indirect flights. This activity is to respond to the outbreak in China, with exported cases already reported in nearby Nairobi.
Travelers to Uganda are being subjected to entry screenings for symptoms associated with the coronavirus. Based on the current information, the risk of coronavirus to the Ugandan public is currently deemed low, but nevertheless, health officials at the airport are taking proactive preparedness precautions. This screening is part of the layered approach used in tandem with other public health measures already in place to detect other contagious hemorrhagic fevers such as Ebola. Dr. James Ayil is the medical in charge at Entebbe Airport Clinic Kazuri. He is confident his staff is well trained on how best to deal and detect the virus.
Have a team of over 16 staff that we work, 16 public health officers, 2 medical officers and myself, and we work in shift to make sure that we cover 24/7, to make sure that everybody coming into the country is screened for highly infectious disease. We use international health regulations and what we call CAPSCA guidelines and SOP.
Quite often, some processes have been labeled time-consuming and tedious for the arriving passengers who in some cases endure long flight hours to reach their destination. Dr. Ayul says this will be put into consideration while conducting screenings.
Trained our staff to make sure that, first of all, we beef up the number of staff during peak hours. And for Entebbe International Airport, from around 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. is a peak hour. And we make sure that we have enough staff to, make them go through very fast. We don't have actually, stagnation, because that's one of the aspects of disease prevention. We're making sure that people are not, close to each other.
The most affected with this outbreak are Ugandan traders whose business trips to China are now limited. However, the Executive Director, Uganda Exports Promotions Board, says trade with China should continue with no retardation.
And we are not going to change that. The same goods going to China are the same goods going to Europe. They are the same goods going to United Arab Emirates, and we are okay with it. So we hope, again, that Hong Kong and China, when they are bringing products into this country, that they have also preserved the health standards.
So far, 106 people have died from coronavirus, and the number of confirmed cases in China has ballooned to more than 4,500. The epicenter of the outbreak is Wuhan, a city of 11 million people. Right now, no case of coronavirus infection has been reported here at Entebbe International Airport. But should there be any, Ministry of Health officials say this isolation center has been put in place well equipped to handle such emergencies. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Saidat. One person is suspected to have died and another under treatment for yellow fever in Bulisa, following what seems to be an outbreak of the disease in the district. Bulisa District Health Officer Dr. Nelson Naisie expressed the need for a yellow fever and Ebola isolation center to separate people suspected to be infected with the disease.
Report launched. Thank you so much.
According to the World Health Organization, a country needs at least 4 professional health workers for every 1,000 inhabitants. However, Uganda's current status is of a 1 employed professional health worker to every 1,000 inhabitants. While presenting the report findings on health workforce financing in Uganda, Dr. Vincent Ojome remained pessimistic about a change of these petrifying statistics, advising on the need for government to increase on financing for the health sector. The report also revealed that Uganda is still following outdated national staffing norms, thereby affecting the current labor force supply that remains to be too low to cover the growing population needs.
The wage bill is not really keeping up with the population growth. Our population, I think that time, we were about what, 21 million, 1999. Check the figures. But now we are almost just doubled, 40 million above, and we are still using the norms of 2019. We have not taken into account these non-communicable diseases which has now come in to compete with the communicable diseases.
Riding on this fact, the Executive Director, African Center for Global Health and Social Transformation, Professor Francis Omaswa, calls for an overhaul of the staffing norms.
We need to revisit and review the national staffing norms so that they respond to the current disease burden and also to the increased population.
Dr. Edward Mutabazi, a technical advisor for human resource planning at the Ministry of Health, reveals that plans to develop a national health workforce account are at the tail end.
So if you don't know this, you don't have an appropriate structure. So you will not know how many people do you need at a particular time, given the trends of diseases and also given the dynamics in the disease burden. So this is what we consider, and once you know how many people you need, then you can know how much should I have in order to pay them.
Currently, Uganda's health per capita stands at $35 away from the $65 20 years ago. Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News.
So much, Dorcas. We apologize for that mix-up. That story was about a report that expresses the worry that in the next 10 years there will be a shortage of the health workforce of almost 18 million practitioners in the next 10 years. So there is a worry like that, and that was the launch of that report that brought the information forward to the general public and the world at large. With that apology, we take a very short break. On return, we have business, international, and sports news. Please keep it with us.
Dial *185*6#, follow the prompts and make instant school fees payments. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Have you completed Senior 4 or Senior 6 and you want to do a 2-year certificate or a diploma course? Makerere Institute for Social Development, an affiliate to Makerere Business School, offers programs in accounting and finance, business administration, procurement and supplies management, social work and social administration, information technology, counseling and guidance, human resource, project planning and management, journalism, secretarial studies, and many others. We are located on Sa Apollo Kegwa Road, next to Oilcom Petrol Station, with a UBTEP Center number.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Good morning, Uganda. Today is a great day to make someone's day. A wonderful day to rewrite the future. Today is a beautiful day to light up their world. Or maybe even the perfect day to say, "You're my world." A marvelous day to make a brand new start. The perfect day to make the world smaller. Uganda, today isn't just another day. Today is your day. Airtel Money, with you always. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
We thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. In business, Mwelo Parish residents in Tororo district were eager for investment, especially after getting to know that HIMA, a multinational cement manufacturing company, was interested in the 50-acre rock land in their parish. However, to date, no quarrying has taken place in the area after the investor abandoned the project. Our reporter Dennis Goa was in Tororo and now reports.
After the intense court session, Justice Bamugemerere and team exposing flaws in the land surface rights acquisition, it was resolved that HIMA and its agent Optima Mines find an amicable solution to the matter.
Bad practices and fraudulent practices in land sector or related sectors definitely affect investment and affect the way that business is done, and eventually affect Uganda as an investment destination.
What is sure is HIMA has not interacted directly enough with the people. We have not explained enough what we wanted to do, and maybe some of them there was some misunderstanding on the duration of the operation we wanted to do. We take responsibility.
It's not up to 600 million like we were told yesterday.
Much more.
Much more.
At least we paid 600 million to Optima Mine for a work that was not properly done.
According to the Commission, the modalities used to acquire Mwelo rock land was flawed and some major malpractices were cited.
It's one of those cases where you investigate something and certain things which are not right just come out without a lot of efforts. So that dealings of Optima were found not to meet the standards expected of a government or of a private company of the state of HIMA.
To protect its reputation locally and globally, HIMA Cement decided to relinquish the disputed land.
Unfortunately, the third party didn't carry out the work to the required standard, and I think that the substandard compensation process led to people suffering a lot of inequality.
On 17th of July 2019, Jean-Michel Pons, the new Chief Executive Officer of HIMA Cement, accompanied by top officials and in a ceremony witnessed by the officials from Uganda Land Commission, HIMA relinquished the disputed land.
Please enjoy this land. And I think you should not take picture of myself. You should take picture of the landscape that is really beautiful.
Some of the local community members rejoiced over the decision of HIMA, while others felt betrayed.
You know, we are not against development in this place. Okay? If HIMA is interested in the land, let the due process be followed. If any investor is coming, let the due process be followed. Huh? Once the transparency is carried, and we are all involved, we have no problem with it.
Bayagala kutuzimbira dwaliro enene kusinga eno. Ate bayagala kutukolera luguudo eyo. Aberenga ya guarantee. Ate bayagala kutuwa naye kote. Ate ne sente bagenda kutuyamba. Batuweko ku sente tusembereko bali nga bamaze mulimo gwo tukome kubanja shafu. Kameno government ma Uganda baba chandere. Wameto dongo. Tomajo makajo bedo. Tujwani government ma Uganda nganga ndo kuwesana. Wameto nganga kune yo isana kome. Mera kara para.
It may have seemed like a good gesture from the investor, but experts believe the project could have been successfully implemented if the law was followed to the latter.
All investors that are interested in acquiring or executing mining projects in Uganda are by law required to first secure surface rights. As you know, constitutionally, all minerals belong to the state that holds them in trust for its people, who are the citizens of Uganda. At the same time, the constitution provides that land belongs to the people. So it's very important that any investor ensures they balance those two interests to avoid any conflicts and to ensure that their projects are being executed responsibly. Now, the first step that would advise a mining investor interested in securing surface rights before they embark on mining. As you know, mining comes in different phases. You have exploration, which is always the first phase. You explore for 3 to 7 years. according to the Mining Act.
To avoid future conflicts, investors in Uganda's mining sector are advised to do a feasibility study on where the acreage is, find out the land market value of the area, involve the community from the onset, and be willing to negotiate with the landowners.
Investors forget that the communities are the best, security you can get for their investment. If you engage them during the negotiations, sensitize them about what the project is, be as willing as possible to share all relevant information. Do not hide information because it will be in the public domain. So share all the relevant information with the communities, demonstrate to them how this project is important for the development of the country, it's important for their own development, what are the benefits, what linkages can they attach themselves to in the course of the development of this project. Your project can actually fail right from the point of surface rights acquisition. If you get it wrong from the start, trust me, your project is going to be dogged down by lawsuits in courts, people claiming you never compensated them, they were never adequately compensated, or you did not disclose fully all the information they should have. So make sure you get experts to guide you on how you proceed on that. I would say on the gap side as well, our current Mining Act does not really give you a procedure of how to proceed specifically with mining rights acquisition. All it stipulates is we expect you to get surface rights. How you get surface rights is not really dictated. That's why you now have to consider looking at the provisions of the land law.
However, Mwelo residents are still interested in investment in their area. They believe the quarrying project can transform the local economy positively.
Tosano afoyo gimonwango oko wikelo gimande no bedo kenyo onwanga ana pat para ko kwany kilo darja loy pat para ko kwany to sana pat pa wadan ma jokwa mo kwanye aneno gimo bedo to sana anu nwanga ba pama me aba foyo ne uka ubino paka ubina ma ana ba no ngantier wede miyo pat para.
So we want the government or the contractors to come and pay us money.
So you're willing to give out your land, to vacate the land?
Yes.
Very soon, as long as you get the right amount of money?
Yes. So for me, I want money.
There's no problem. Consensus matters. If you engage, solution comes in. With engagement, there is solution. But things of handling things the kangaroo style, we don't want. Let the investor, if there is another investor who is willing to come, let that investor come.
It is obvious, once beaten, twice shy. Hima might not be interested anymore in the granite rocks, but the rocky land in Mwelo, Tororo district is still a resource of economic value.
In sport, Pep Guardiola says that Manchester City needs to learn to be more clinical after they made difficult work of reaching their third successive Carabao Cup final. Guardiola's side will face Aston Villa at Wembley on first match, despite losing the second leg of their semi-final against Manchester United, advancing 3-2 on aggregate. Leading 3-1 from the first leg at Old Trafford, the Olders pushed forward in search of a goal to put the tie to bed, but could find no way past an inspired David De Gea.
Mahrez, Gundogan, De Bruyne, oh what a ball that is, offside, and the flag's up for offside. Sterling, celebrations cut short, Simon Long's flag went up.
Yes, and that brings us to the end of what we had for you this afternoon. We thank you so much for watching. Please keep it UBC TV because newsroom is all over this country and beyond to give you news in Kiswahili at 6, Luganda at 7, and English will come at 8 and 10. So you have all the reasons to keep it with us. For now, enjoy the next program. My name is Michael Jeda Lukomwa. Bye-bye.